I've never spoken with him before this conversation basically means that this is the first time you're talking to this person. It suggests that up until this conversation, you haven't had any direct interaction with him. No calls, chats, or face-to-face exchanges. You might use this phrase in a few different scenarios. For example, if you're meeting someone in a professional setting for the first time, or if a friend or colleague asks if you know someone new, you could use it to clarify that you don't have a history of speaking with them. Here's an example in a casual conversation.
Do you know Thomas? He'll be at the meeting today.
I've never spoken with him before this conversation. I've seen his name around, but that's about it.
In this example, you're letting the person know that this will be your first real interaction with Thomas. This phrase is a simple way to make it clear that you're unfamiliar with someone, which can be helpful in both professional and social situations. Neither he nor his companies have any influence on my opinion means that your opinion is completely your own, and it's not affected by him or his companies in any way. You're saying that no matter what he or his businesses might think, say, or do, it doesn't impact your own views or conclusions. You might use this kind of phrase when you want to be clear about your independence or unbiased stance, especially in situations where people might question whether you're being influenced by someone with authority or money. For example, it's often used in professional settings when you want to assure others that your judgment is free from outside pressures. Here's an example in a conversation.
Do you think your view on the project is influenced by Mr. Thompson's company?
No, neither he nor his companies have any influence on my opinion. I formed my views based on the project details alone.
Here, you're making it clear that your opinion is your own and hasn't been shaped by Mr. Thompson or his business. It's a good way to emphasize that you're unbiased, especially if someone might assume otherwise. We agree on some things and disagree on others means that while you and another person share similar views on certain topics, there are also areas where you don't see eye to eye. It's a way to express that you have both shared opinions and differences, which is natural in any discussion. You might use this phrase in a business context, especially when talking with a colleague or partner, to show that while you're on the same page about some parts of a plan or idea, you have differing opinions about other aspects. Imagine a conversation between two people at a company considering a distributorship business.
Do you think we're aligned on the distribution strategy?
Yes, we agree on some things and disagree on others. For instance, we both see the potential in cloud security, but I'm not convinced about the need for a big marketing budget right now.
Here, you're showing that you and your colleague have a balanced view. You're aligned in some ways, but have differing priorities. This kind of expression can keep the conversation constructive and show that differing opinions are part of a healthy decision-making process. My goal is to understand the way the leader sees the world, means that your aim is to grasp how the leader views things, how they think, what they prioritize, and their unique perspective on the business or industry. This kind of understanding can help you better align with their vision or anticipate their decisions. You'd use this phrase in situations where you want to learn not just about specific actions or tasks, but about the broader mindset and values that guide the leader's choices. In a business setting, this is especially valuable when trying to work closely with executives or align a project with the company's vision. Imagine a conversation between two colleagues in a company focused on leading the software business.
Why are you spending so much time in meetings with the CEO?
My goal is to understand the way the leader sees the world. If I can see things from their perspective, I think it'll help us shape our software strategy more effectively.
In this case, you're explaining that you're taking the time to learn about the CEO's perspective on the software industry, which can influence how the team approaches its goals. It shows you value not just what the leader decides, but why they think the way they do. How long will it remain relevant to generative AI? Is asking how long something will continue to be important or useful in the field of generative AI. Essentially, it's questioning whether a certain tool, concept, or trend will continue to matter in the future, or if it might become outdated or less impactful as the field of generative AI evolves. You'd use this phrase in discussions where you're analyzing the longevity or future value of something within the AI space. This is a common concern in tech fields, where things are constantly changing, so staying relevant is a big focus. Imagine a conversation between two people thinking about starting an AI business.
Do you think this language model will give us an edge?
Maybe, but the question is, how long will it remain relevant to generative AI? New models and techniques are coming out so fast, it's hard to know if what we invest in now will still be cutting edge in a year.
In this example, you're pointing out that while the current tool might be helpful, its relevance might not last due to the rapid advancements in generative AI. It shows an awareness of how quickly the field moves and highlights the importance of forward thinking in AI startups. It is likely to be of benefit in both the short term and the long term, means that something is expected to be helpful or valuable not only right away, in the near future, but also over a longer period of time. So, whatever you're discussing will probably have immediate advantages and also continue to bring value as time goes on. This phrase is often used in business or project planning to emphasize that an investment, tool, or strategy will pay off now and remain useful or profitable in the future. Imagine two people discussing their AI startup's new project.
Do you think integrating this new model is a good idea?
Yes, I do. It is likely to be of benefit in both the short term and the long term. Right now, it'll improve our product's accuracy, and in the future, it'll help us keep up as AI evolves.
Here you're explaining that this decision has advantages that can be seen right away, like better product accuracy, and will also continue to help the business grow over time, especially as the field of AI advances. This phrase helps communicate that a decision isn't just about immediate gains, but also long-term success. He and I may not agree on everything, means that while you and this other person have some differences in opinions, you can still work together or respect each other's perspectives. It acknowledges that you don't see eye to eye on every issue, which is common when people are collaborating or discussing complex topics. This phrase is useful in any setting where you want to show that, despite some disagreements, you can still find common ground or work constructively with someone else. It's often used to express a mature, open-minded approach to partnerships or professional relationships. Imagine two people talking about working with a new AI startup partner.
Are you sure he's the right partner for this project?
Well, he and I may not agree on everything, especially on spending priorities, but I think his insights into AI development are valuable for us.
In this conversation, you're expressing that even though there are some differences in views, maybe on budgeting or approach, you still appreciate what the other person brings to the table. This shows that you're open to collaboration despite some disagreements, which can be key in high-stakes environments like startups and investments. I deeply respect the engineering and innovation behind the efforts that he leads, means that you have a strong admiration for the technical skill and creativity that this person brings to their projects. It's a way of saying that you really value the quality and forward-thinking nature of the work they're doing, especially if they're leading important initiatives or pushing boundaries in their field. This phrase is often used when you want to express genuine appreciation for someone's leadership and the impact of their technical contributions, especially in fields like AI or technology, where creativity and expertise are highly valued. Imagine a conversation between two university students who are thinking about launching an AI startup and discussing a well-known AI entrepreneur.
Have you looked at the latest AI model he's developing? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I have. I deeply respect the engineering and innovation behind the efforts that he leads. The way he's pushing AI forward is something I'd love to learn from.
In this exchange, you're expressing admiration not only for what this AI leader is doing, but for the advanced technical and creative aspects of his work. This phrase shows that you're inspired by his approach and might even want to bring some of that passion and expertise into your own startup. It became obvious to me that is a way of saying that something has become very clear or easy to understand. When you say this, you're emphasizing that you've realized something, usually after thinking about it or observing a situation for a while. It's often used to show that, after some reflection or experience, you're certain about a specific point or fact. This phrase can come up in conversations where you're explaining a new insight or realization, especially if it was something you didn't notice right away but now see clearly. Imagine two university students discussing an internship experience at an AI startup.
How was working with that team? Did it match your expectations?
Well, at first, I wasn't sure, but over time it became obvious to me that they're fully committed to advancing AI responsibly. It wasn't just about the tech. They really care about the impact.
In this conversation, you're explaining that after spending some time in the environment, you clearly realized how dedicated the team was to responsible AI development. This phrase helps emphasize that this insight developed over time, showing that you didn't jump to conclusions but reached a solid understanding based on experience. Any car that does not have autonomy would be about as useful as a horse. Means that in the future, cars without self-driving capabilities might feel outdated or impractical, similar to how using a horse for transportation would feel today. This phrase uses a bit of humor and exaggeration to emphasize how important autonomous driving could become. It's suggesting that, once autonomous cars are common, regular cars might seem slow, inconvenient, or just old-fashioned. This kind of statement is often used in tech discussions to show how rapidly technology is advancing and to highlight the potential of new developments like autonomous vehicles. Imagine a conversation between two people interested in future car technology.
Do you really think autonomous cars are going to take over?
Absolutely. Any car that does not have autonomy would be about as useful as a horse. People will want the convenience and safety of self-driving options, just like how we rely on modern cars now.
In this conversation, the person is emphasizing how essential autonomous features will likely become. It's a way of showing that traditional cars could feel outdated once autonomous technology is fully developed and widely used.